So I'm Siobhan McPheeney and I'm the CFO here. But it's a little different than your typical CFO. So I have not only the finance org, but I have vendor management, member experience, all the fun stuff like risk and tax and audit and legal. But the fun part is having the member experience piece. Because what we were trying to do was make the CFO be the measure of all business performance, not just finance that everyone thinks. So our customer, we use Net Promoter Score. That's a key business performance. So that's why we put in the CFO. When you think of AAA, it's both insurance and membership. About 300 people in the main office here in Emeryville, 1,700 people in the field, maybe a little more, maybe 1,800 in the field. So it's about, just over 2,000 employees. Medium-sized firm here. And then we were, for a long time, very closely tied with our insurance company. And as of January this year, we've very independently separated in two separate legal entities. In January, when we split, we were looking at, we're going to be a smaller, much smaller company, and we need to integrate our HR piece and our finance piece. We need to be able to, if you ask me how many people are in a branch office in Larkspur, I need to tell you there's 17 people and their branch P&L looks like this. In our old system, we couldn't do that. Workday obviously lets you do that. And it lets you do it in a really, really simple way that I, as the CFO, don't have to tell people or the head of our HR, but a branch manager can go into Workday and figure it all out. Without any training, you can do it in 5 minutes. So that was really sort of the goal, was to bring a much more integrated look of all of our information, particularly HR and finance. And we didn't have that in the old world. And it's working out beautifully. I mean, I can go into anything in HR, have a look around, see what's going on, and understand what's coming out in the P&L. I know, it's very geeky, but it works beautifully. We had hundreds of charts of accounts. We didn't connect all the dots, and suddenly you end up with a chart of accounts with thousands of line items, which takes an allocation machine to run through nights to actually make that happen. Many, many companies have the same problem. It's not just us. I mean, we are well aware. So when we thought about Workday, I'm thinking we're going to make this simple. So we were talking earlier, we sell insurance, we sell membership, and we sell travel. That's our business. We don't need to be that complicated. We are, we will get and diversify more in the future, but that's our business. So if that's our business, how can we simplify? So I think we went from, and I don't have the exact, it's probably somewhere about 380 down to about 56 accounts, because that's all we need to know. Those are the things that drive our business. And so what it's done is, from that, we've driven branch P&Ls. So before, everyone knows allocations, right? You've got a corporate account and you just allocate it out. What we've done is looked at every particular branch and said, you work in Modesto and you consume this much of HR. So I'm going to charge you for that much, right? So as a branch manager, now I actually run my own business. It's shifted things from being backward looking, taking an army to produce it, to you can get it at your fingertips. And that takes some time to happen. And the company are embracing it. I mean, they love it. I go into Workday, approve invoices, do whatever I have to do. I can check stuff out. I don't have to wait for the controller to tell me where things are. So that's a huge transformation. We have over 100 branches. So can you imagine branch managers who used to sit back and wait for the end of the month to see what's happening? Every single day they can go in and see where they're at. And it's not perfect, and none of it's going to be perfect for a long time. I don't know if we'll ever get to perfect, but the goal is to make it better every day. So that's what we're doing. I would say the work that our folks do is different, and I think that's, in a very sick kind of way, exciting. So the accountants who normally would be heads down, pulling out journals and doing crazy stuff, are actually, they're sort of becoming a little bit like investigators, right? Things don't appear as they expect. They go in and they start looking around. We couldn't do that in the old way, right? We couldn't figure out, because it was just a machine that just was too complicated. Now they can say, hey, I'm not seeing the accrual come through. They go back, they actually are changing they're changing the type of work they do, and they're changing how quickly they do it. They're helping the business figure stuff out. It's not, an accountant's job is now changed to something else. They really are trying to do business analysis and stuff like that, which for an accountant, believe me, I'm one. It's a joy when you do something other than book journals. So it's helping a lot. It really is. I think what we keep most highly protected is our employee data, particularly anything very sensitive around them. Financials, ironically, if you're a public company, I mean, they're all available. And we're trying to instill this culture of transparency and enabling every employee, whether you're in the legal department here, whether you're an actuary, whether you're in the field selling, have a complete and utter understanding of the business, all the way down, right? So you understand what we're spending on salaries, what you're spending on marketing. It isn't a secret little set of information for just the finance team or for the CEO. Every single person should understand how the business makes money and how we spend money. When you do that, you go back to this, right? Then everyone's making smarter decisions, you get the entrepreneurial spirit, all of those things. And I think Workday is trying to create simple solutions and listen to the customers. So that helped, that was huge for us. I mean, huge. We want to take the mystery out of HR and finance. It isn't that exciting, and it really shouldn't be that important. It should happen. It should happen regularly. It should have a disciplined approach, and everyone should have access. And those are sort of the goals that we want here. And then we should focus on what are the innovative things the business can do, and how do you drive a culture change, and all those type of things. So we wanted to get all the complexity out of the system and the process and how people do their work. And I think if you partner with companies like Workday, you get to do that. You're easy to partner with, and we knew that it was, let's be candid, a bit of a risk, right? We're moving off an entirely, a system that's been around for God knows how many years. We're moving HCM, payroll, and finance all at once in 4.5 months. And we got a partner who said, yeah, I think that's okay. A lot of companies would have ran for the hills. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, 18 weeks to do all of that work, total support, and it's easy, and you guys listen. When we met with your team in October, we said, this is long term. We're going to be on this for a long time. And we want to make sure that any new things you want us to test and pilot, we're signing up. Because that is truly, I know you guys are doing something very different in this whole space. And we feel like we're doing something very different with a company that's been around like over 100 years. It's sort of a reset button. It's a bit of a startup with a lot of legacy. And mixing those, partnering with companies like Workday, you get to do it. And you get to do it in an accelerated way, which is cool.